I didn't realize that the live stream started. Not even kidding. That's a trip. It's just taking the thumbnail picture for this live stream. It's funny. A fat ass thumb must have hit the go live button. Well, that was an interesting intro. Welcome back. That's funny. I'm tripped out right now. I kind of like that view all the way over there on that. Well, not all the way over there, but off to the side. But anyways, not a whole lot going on for this live stream other than cleaning up the mess that I have made these last couple days. So basically just gonna put tools away, clean some tools, and get ready for tomorrow. I'm not gonna do any more repairs or sharpening. Sharpening is over for today as far as hedge trimmers go. Finished up the second one today, which if you guys were here, you guys would, you guys saw that going down. So insane. So everyone's saying, why is the camera so bad? That's just how it is. I don't have very good Wi-Fi out here, so we have some basic Wi-Fi here, but you know what? It's all good. I'm not even tripping. So, not to sound like an asshole, but if it's that bad, you don't gotta watch. So the phone, not that I have to explain or anything, but just so you guys know what's going on, this phone right here just runs off of Wi-Fi. It doesn't have any data. I do have this other one that does have data, but I need this one for texting and calling. And yeah, so anyways, not a whole lot going on. So just going to be cleaning some stuff, some tools, put it away. I did get the last 2 parts in that I needed for our customer Rodolfo's 201s. Well, a couple of his 201s. I have 3 of them here for him. I have one 201T and then 2 201TCs that are the M-Tronic versions. So nothing major going on those, just a couple little things. So on 2 of the 201s, no, you guys are good. You guys are good. I was just throwing it out there. Not, I never really take too much offense of anything unless it's like kind of weird stuff. But you guys are good, I promise. I was just saying, that's all. So the last 2 parts that I was waiting for are these recoil springs, which that's going to be an interesting live stream tomorrow because that's the last thing I have to do for one of his 201s. So it goes right underneath the rope rotor. I don't know if you guys can see down here. Very, very tricky. Very, very tricky to install. I've never actually had to install one of these before, which is a good thing. But the reason why why I'm replacing them on 2 of his 201s is they're just really worn out. They're loose. They have a lot of play. They're kind of squeaky. Functionality is still fine, but he did notice that they were just a little squeaky, and I did notice that they were a little, if you can hear it, you can hear them kind of, you can hear the slack. So it's not supposed to do that because eventually it's really just gonna fail, and then he's gonna have more issues. So he works in tree service, so everybody that we cater to works in tree service, climbers, groundsmen. So Rodolfo, he's a really badass climber. So the last thing we need is for his coil spring rewind to fail, and then he's up in a tree, and that's just going to be it's not necessarily going to be unsafe, but it's just downtime. He's going to have to climb down, and he does have 3 of these saws. He has a couple more that he's using now, but he has a big job coming in on Saturday, so he needs his saws back. So this is the last thing that we need for, well, it's outside. The one that we did the other day, it got clutch springs and then just a tune-up service. So fuel filter, air filter, spark plug, gave it a good cleaning. And then we have to sharpen the chain for that chainsaw. So we have a total of 8 or 9 chains that I have to sharpen for him. And then his other 201, it's a TC, it needs the same thing. Coil, rewind spring, I guess they call it. Rewind spring and clutch springs, tune-up service, so air filter, fuel filter, spark plug. It's going to get a cleaning, and then sharpen the chain that goes with that chainsaw. And then the other 201, we need to, I need to replace the solenoid valve because it's an M-Tronic. So that's the only different thing about the M-Tronics compared to a regular carburetor. It has a solenoid valve, but it has everything else the same. So he's running the first gen solenoid valve, which is the black version. There's a green and then the white or the red. It's, one thing I've learned about those is that you can't just replace the solenoid valve to either the green version, which is the second gen, or the newest version, the red, because it has to correspond with the proper coil, so the ignition module. I didn't know that, and I'm glad that I learned that thanks to my buddy Aaron Lynch here on YouTube. Awesome guy, super helpful, always willing to help out wherever he can. He's a badass saw builder. He specializes in porting, but he also does general services. If you guys care to check out his channel, you can just look him up, Aaron Lynch. He has a lot of cool and really badass saw ripping action and teardown videos, really good stuff. So I'm really blessed to be able to call him a friend now. We met last year through social media, and so he's the one that told me that yesterday, because he when he has time, he'll pop in and hang out for a little bit. He's a very busy man, but he came in at the point where I was saying that all I had to do was replace the solenoid valve to the new one, the newest one, the third gen, and then call it good. And if it wasn't for him, because he's the one that told me, you do have to switch out the coil, because it has to correspond with the version, which does make sense. And so good thing he did, because I would have just replaced it, sent it out, and like how he said, maybe I would have gotten lucky and everything would have been fine. And I think that's what happened to the last 2 solenoid valves that I swapped out. I just got lucky and everything is good. But the proper way is to replace the coil as well. And then something about running a certain fuel filter, like the orange and the, so anyways, so I think I got lucky on the last 2, and I didn't know that. So so good thing he was there, and he told me what, he provided me some information, because let's say I didn't get lucky on Rodolfo's and I would have swapped it out, and he was up in a tree, and maybe it would have ran fine on the ground, and then he would have gone up to the tree and had problems. So what's happening right now with his current 201 with the black first gen solenoid valve is that the saw just cuts out. It just shuts off mid cut. It runs really, really good, strong. He's running a West Coast muffler that we put on for him, the 3-point dogs, of course M-Tronic. Very, very good running saw, but it does have that issue where mid cut it'll just turn off. So, but other than that, it's a really good running saw, really strong, just rips. So the black solenoid valves, from what I understand, they're no longer available. They're discontinued. And the green solenoid valves, I believe they're still available, but they're probably getting close to being discontinued. And then the third gen, I mean, that's what we're going to be getting. So We got Jaco in the house. Says, yo, what's good, everybody? My friend, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Appreciate the positive vibes. And everybody that's here tonight, at least tonight here in California. Appreciate everybody hanging out for a little bit. So this, like I said, this is going to be just me cleaning up my mess that I've made the last couple days. And I'll be answering any questions that anybody has, or we'll just be hanging out for a little bit and pretty much closing out the night here in the shop, and then we'll be back to it tomorrow as long as the universe allows. Jaco says, yo bro, you safe from the fires? Man, it's nuts, but thankfully I'm, you know, my family and I were safe, but I wish I could say the same for the folks down in SoCal right now. Thankfully, in this case, I'm here in Northern California. So I'm like, from their area, I'm probably like 9 hours away. But we're very notorious also for wildfires up here in Northern California. And then, you know, unfortunately lately, SoCal has been, you know, becoming known to having really crazy wildfires. So hopefully, man, it's brutal out there. Just from what I see on the news. Last night I was the first time I found out about it. It was around what, 6 o'clock possibly, and at that point they were already at 1,200 acres burned. And today when I was having lunch, what time was it, noon, like 12:30, anyways, early afternoon, they were already at 5,000 acres, and I'm sure at this point it's a lot more. And it's just, it's crazy. It's not even really technically fire season, but you know, things happen. But let's just you know, whether you're religious or not, you know, let's just send some positive vibes and just, you know, keep them in our thoughts, because that's brutal, man. That's one hell of a way to start the new year. And even though I keep saying 2025 is going to be a good year, very, very good year, of course, better for some, not so. Anyways, it's going to be a good year. It's going to be a great year. But of course, life, no matter what, is going to throw us curveballs that we don't have any control over. But we just got to do our best to keep it pushing. So, but anyways, thankfully, yes, we're safe as of right now. But we had some really crazy winds yesterday. I don't know where that came from. You know, and so anyways, yeah, thankfully we're safe. So so just touching back to the solenoid valve, and then I'll get ready to do something, you know, show you guys something at least. I did find the first gen on eBay, OEM, whatever. So I think I would really hate to tell them, hey man, you know, because I have the red solenoid valve here. I have the newest version. But of course I don't have the coil, and then I'd have to go to the dealer and try to track down the part number for that coil, because I can find them on my own on eBay. But I'm not that good yet to know part numbers, and, you know, because it all kind of ties down to serial number specific. So when you go to the dealer, I used to work at a dealer, and that's the only thing I miss about it, is having that steel access to look up part numbers, run serial numbers, to really pinpoint what part numbers go with that serial number or version. So, all right, Jaco, much love, man. Thank you. Appreciate you for coming in and sending some positive vibes. We got the man ground pounder in the house. Yeah, man, fires. It's brutal, man. You know, like I was just saying, I'm not super religious, and I know a lot of us aren't, but, you know, definitely let's do our best to somehow send some positive vibes, and, you know, to all the people down in SoCal right now, because that's like I was just saying, that's one hell of a way to start the new year. It sucks. It really sucks. So so I'm gonna have to, you know, so in order to get the appropriate coil, and again, big thank you to Aaron for dropping some knowledge on the solenoid valve replacements, and how it's not just, you know, just replace the coil and you're good, or excuse me, the solenoid valve. Like I said, I must have gotten really lucky on the last two that I replaced, from the green to the red. or to the white version, but it's really a red. You know, I got really lucky, but so I did find the and we got Liam in the house. Says I just hit 36 subscribers. Nice, man, right on. Welcome back. So thanks to him, you know, I learned something about those solenoid valves, because I didn't know that you had to replace the coil. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace the black solenoid valve that he has, the first gen, with another first gen, because I was able to track one down brand new, instead of having to tell him, well, look, man, I have the newest version of the solenoid valve, but now you're going to have to spend a little over $100 to replace the ignition module that doesn't even have any issues right now from what we can tell, because the saw runs amazing. It just has that issue where it shuts off mid-cut. So it's only like $40 for the solenoid valve. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to order it in and do it that way, instead of having to replace everything, unless we really have to replace the coil. But again, big shout out to Aaron for always helping me out wherever he can. And so yeah, go from there. View my other account yet? No, I haven't. No. Anyways, so let's just go ahead and get on with this shop cleanup, because I have quite the freaking mess. It's really usually not like this, but I've been just on the move. So, and excuse my neighbor's annoying ass dog. It's really annoying. It's a freaking pug, but it's all right. So let me just show you guys what I got going on right now. This is just everything that I've used in the last couple days, so today and yesterday, and it's just all over the place. And then, like I said, we finally got the recoil springs, or rewind springs, in. That's, I guess, the proper term that Steel calls it: rewind, recoil spring, whatever. This is going to be fun, and I really do say that with sarcasm, because these are tricky. I mean, even people that do it all the time, these springs are tricky as hell. So it's really a one-shot type of deal. You really got to get it. If you don't get it in that one shot, you're done. Because they have so much tension that if it slips out of place, it'll just go. And to rewind them, they're not easy. When I worked at the shop that I used to work at, I saw one of the mechanics try to put one of these in, and he knows what the hell he's doing. But again, these things are very, very tricky. And he went through 3 of them. And again, that's what he does for a living. But these are no joke. And the idea of this plastic casing here is that, you know, you put it in, and then you're able to just lift off the plastic. I don't really, that's the idea, but we're gonna see tomorrow. But they're finally in. There's been a lot of delays on these rewind springs, so thankfully they're in now. It goes right underneath the rope rotor here. The functionality on these are still good, but they're worn out and they have a lot of slack. So if you hear, so it still works fine, but with that slack, eventually it's going to fail completely. And the last thing we want is for that to fail and stop working when he's up in a tree. And so that's the last thing that we need to do for this 201. It's a TC M-Tronic version. Everything else has been done. It got new clutch springs and a tune-up service. So filters, fuel and air and spark plug, cleaning, and we just have to sharpen the chain that corresponds with that chainsaw. And the other 201 that we're doing for him also is getting new clutch springs, tune-up service, one of those rewind springs, and then I don't know if I already said it, but cleaning, sharpening the chain. And then his last 201, which is a TC, is the one that I was talking about, the solenoid valve. So anyways, So let's just start picking away at this stuff and put it in its spot. And then tomorrow, like I said, I did plan on doing one of these rewind springs tonight, but I need to get this clutter under control because it just drives me crazy to have stuff everywhere. But that's just how it goes when you're just on the move. And so yeah, just gonna put everything away because there's nothing worse than coming in the next day. And this is just something that I picked up when I worked at the shop, you know, when I actually started messing around with equipment. Even though I was just a sales guy, I wasn't really supposed to, but I did. Eventually I had my own little area and whatever, toolbox, and I would always, at the end of the day, I would just, even if I had stuff out, I'd make it look, you know, I would just make sure everything looked, you know, in order, in shape, you know, an organized mess essentially. Or if I didn't have anything, you know, I'd make sure to put my tools away, wipe off my area, and go from there. Because it would just suck to come in and have a bunch of crap everywhere. So Derek S said, you would love prison. Interesting comment, but also very interesting, I guess. Fun fact, I've been there. So in case anybody didn't know, now you know a little something about me. So, and I don't know why I would love it. So that's kind of a weird comment. But yeah, fun fact, I have been to prison. I've only been there once, and that's more than enough. So, and I guess to touch on that, since we have nothing else to do, I did my reception at San Quentin. I was there for about 3 months, and then I got shipped off to Folsom State Prison, not the new one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Not a good time, but I survived. I learned a lot. Learned a lot. So yeah, seems like a very, very long time ago, but it wasn't that long ago. It's only been years. Well, obviously it'd be years, it wouldn't be months. Oh, there goes the bits. Shit. Derek S, I don't know what he's on right now, but I'm not even gonna humor that. I'm sure everybody can see the comments. That's just stupidity. And he's probably been to prison, and apparently he didn't learn anything. Won't be long before he finds himself back, if he has been. Grown-ass dude talking like that. It's a shame. But anyways, Derek S., hope you're doing well, and I hope the new year's been treating you well. I think one thing that I think is funny when people comment silly stuff is that their brains think about these things. It's just, I don't know. It's just interesting to me. I'm silly, I'm goofy, but interesting. Sometimes it makes me want to go to school for psychology to try to figure it out. But then again, it's not my problem to figure it out. Yeah, Derek S., I think, yeah, man, let's all just wish the best. Let's all just hope, you know, wish Derek S. the best. They sure do have food. They have literally everything. I mean, I've seen it all. I saw it all. They probably have more drugs in prison and better drugs than there is on the street. But still still not a place that anybody should want to be in. But I do understand that for a lot of people, it's a lot easier to be programmed up and institutionalized and try to do something with themselves in what they call society. Although society itself is pretty shot out right now. But even then, wouldn't want to go back. My inmate career is over. I'm retired. Thank God. It only took me a few years to figure that out. Let's see. Liam says, I asked, what did you go to prison for? So I went to prison for DUIs, believe it or not. People do go to prison for driving offenses. So that's what it is. So don't drink and drive, especially when you get a break the first time. But another little bit about me is, back in my early 20s, I'm 33 now, I had a really bad problem with alcohol. And I'm not going to say I used to be an alcoholic, because in my mind, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, because when I do drink, I don't drink just one. I drink until I have a good buzz going or whatever, depending on the situation. I sure can drink one beer, but I always drink at least two. But yeah, so had a really bad problem with alcohol. And I thought driving was more fun being under the influence. So not only did I drink, but I also smoked weed. I just stopped smoking weed last year, so it's probably been what, 5 months, at least 4 months. But yeah, it's been a while now, and I feel great. Been smoking weed my whole life. Well, not my whole life, not since birth. Since I was like, what, in the 6th grade. So, but I was never a drinker until I turned 21. And then once I turned 21, it's just easy. You don't have to ask people to buy it for you. You can buy it whenever you want. It started off probably like most people that have alcohol problems. It was just on the weekends, and then it turned into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then it turned into every day. Simple. Really, how I developed that is because I've always had a addictive personality. So anything that makes me feel good or brings me pleasure, essentially, I abuse it. So that's just how it is. Let's see. MD Juman says, hello, where are you from? So I'm from California, here in Sonoma County. Derek S says, did you kill somebody with the car? Thankfully not, but there was injury. So basically the story is, I was out one night drinking. I was already super drunk off of beer. I wasn't working, and apparently I wasn't drunk enough, so I wanted to drink more. So I decided to drive over to a Walmart, and I stole a bottle of whiskey and started swigging it in the car, blacked out, and went head on with another vehicle. And thankfully, by the miracles of the universe, I didn't kill them, but there was injury. Right before that, about maybe a couple months before that, I had my first DUI, which was a little slap on the hand. So it was just a domino effect, essentially. So And here in my county, and I'm pretty sure in every county now in every state, you know, they don't mess with DUIs. That's a no. It's a serious thing, because it is. So yeah, landed me in county jail and did a little 6-month stay. It was a long time for me. And then violated probation with more driving offenses, and I already had that, what do they call it, where basically they hold that clause over you or whatever. I forget what it's called now. That's how long it's been, which I'm glad I don't remember. But basically what it is if you catch more charges, or you get another offense of the same offense, they give you your max sentence, which was, for me, it was 3 years. So I was a knucklehead. I still am, but I don't know. It's a little different. But so yeah, that's what happened. Thankfully, I didn't kill anybody. But if I would have kept driving like that, I'm pretty sure I would have eventually. I mean, not trying to sound all cool, or it's not cool. I'm just saying. I mean, that's the truth. So pretty messed up. Pretty selfish, in you know, in my opinion, because that's what it is. Where is, oh, just selfishness. Liam says DUI was only for like 1 day to sleep in jail and go home. So my first DUI, you know, I did get booked in, but then I was released a couple days afterwards. I was able to go pick up my car and whatever, and that should have been my sign to say, wow, you know, I need to wake the hell up and do things differently. But nope, just wanted to keep pushing my luck, and definitely got what I deserved. Dark Knight says, did you know your father? I do know my father, and I talk to him not every day, but I do talk to him constantly. But whether I did or didn't, that wouldn't change the way I think. I was brought up by a very good family. I have a very good family. Always taught me right from wrong. But, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you can lead, I don't know the exact saying, but, you know, it's like the saying, you can lead an animal to water, but you can't make him drink. So, or whatever the saying is, but more or less that's what, you know, they definitely taught me what right from wrong. They taught me about respect and, you know, do right and whatever. But, you know, I just didn't care to listen. Because when you're young and stupid, like I was, you know, we think we have it all figured out. And that's always been kind of my mentality. And even now, I'm still working on it. You know, sometimes we feel like we have it all figured out, when really, most of the time, at least in my case, I don't know shit. But thankfully, I've learned something. Because now, by the grace of, you know, having a very supportive family, and you know, maybe I've matured a little bit, grown up, which I really sure hope so, because I'm 33 years old. Doing very well. Doing very, very well. I don't put myself in situations like that anymore, and I just, you know, do I still drink? Yes, from time to time, but it's not nearly as destructive as well, it's not destructive at all, you know, as it was, but I do. But, you know, I feel like I can handle it now, which I can. It's just, but, you know, I go through my phases where I drink a little bit here and there when I go out. But if I'm not out, I do my best not to do any home drinking or anything like that. So the last time I drank this time, or since the new year was New Year's, and I'm basically taking a break for a little while, just because I don't need to be drinking. I got things to do now. I have a business, and you know, not to say I'm a celebrity or nothing, but you know, I've built a good name and reputation for myself, and you know, in what I do in chainsaws and power equipment and tree service. So I don't even think about anything else other than just being even more successful and growing. So pretty awesome, and anybody can do it, you know. And at any time I can downfall, but that's up to me to really make that choice, or you know. But I got too much to lose now, and I always have. But I was always just blind, I guess, or just, I don't know, naive, whatever you want to call it, dumb, stupid. So, but that's a little bit about me. That's something that I don't ever really talk about. But if it gets brought up, I mean, there's a place and time for everything, and I'm not ashamed of it, because, you know, it's like they say, and it might sound kind of cringe and sappy, but you know, our past really doesn't define who we are. It's just mistakes that we've made, but what does define us is right now, the present. So, and when a lot of people find out about my past, they always, you know, they're always shocked, because they never even imagined, or because for one, that's not what projects my image, you know, being in prison and being incarcerated and all this and that, you know. I've also grown up with, you know, with the whole gang thing and family members, and you know, so I come from quite a past, or quite a background, but most people wouldn't even guess, because that's not how I choose to you know, to present myself and whatever. So I've always been very smart, but always been very self-destructive. But thankfully, though, it's been a few years now, especially the last 2.5 years. I've learned a lot about myself, and I've grown a lot. Well, we definitely wouldn't be having this conversation if I didn't, and I definitely wouldn't have my own business with customers, and you know, I never would have thought, you know. So even though I'm working in my grandfather's little shed, you know, that I call a shop, just all the consistency that I've put in the last 2 years, yeah, of course I've, you know, been discouraged in those last couple years, and you know, went into panic mode and had a couple breakdowns, and a couple times, you know, I thought to myself, you know what, screw all this crap, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore, because it just maybe, I don't know, I can't even say that it wasn't working out, because it's been working out. I've hustled a lot, but here we are. And now I have customers coming all over from Sacramento, the Bay Area. My furthest customer is out in Turlock, which is a at least 3-hour drive. You know, I know people out in Los Angeles, which I should probably actually reach out to a couple of them now, thinking about it, because they're kind of in the area of the fire. So I'm going to reach out to them tonight. I've worked on, I don't know, at least 50 saws or more since I've started up in July. We have our YouTube channel that we've only, again, had since July. I met a lot of great people through our live streams. Had some interesting moments on our live streams, but it's been really positive so far. I mean, it's been, I would say, like 98% positive. But yeah, I'm, you know, stopped smoking weed last year. Feel even better. Better mindset, better mind clarity, and just keeping it going. And that was all really mainly just last year and the years before that. So this year is not going to be any less. It's going to be better. So, but yeah, even me talking about it all now and thinking about it, I'm like, damn, that's one hell of a ride. Liam says, have you got a what? Play black yet? I don't know what that. I'm not really following that comment. We got Jackson 1601 back in the house, sir. What is Gucci? Sweet. And we're pretty much done with the cleanup. Really got into story time mode there that I didn't even, honestly, I don't really remember putting anything away. I mean, I do remember. A lot of people are ashamed to like talk about their past, and sometimes we have that worry that people are going to judge us a little bit, but people are going to judge us no matter what, good or bad, especially when we're doing good for ourselves. But I think it's good to talk about our past, especially when it's good to talk about our past, because it may or may not help someone else. So I don't hide it, that I've been in prison and DUIs and this and that. But if it comes up, because there is a place and time for everything, I talk about it openly because, like I said, maybe it can help someone else out in need that's kind of going through that same situation, or maybe someone has already gone through that experience and maybe they are doing good, but maybe it's just a good little reminder that it is worth putting in the effort, whether we lose a little patience, whether we whatever, it's worth it. It's worth it. What's a car towed? So all of my cars, yeah, like, so after I lost my license, I was still driving around on a suspended license. I didn't even have insurance, and yeah, I had a couple. The first time I got my first DUI, it did not get towed. I just they parked it in the parking lot there, and when I was released from jail that first time, or that time I should say, I was able to go pick it up, and it was there. And then for my second DUI, I mean, it was totaled. So yeah, I don't even, I don't remember any of it because I was blacked out, and don't even remember crashing. So it was pretty crazy. And then the last car that I owned, which was a 96 Corolla, did get towed because I didn't have insurance. And that'll happen to anybody. If you don't have insurance, you can have registration, you could have whatever, but if you don't have insurance, you're more likely going to get towed unless you have a really cool cop, but they're not going to want you driving on the road with no insurance. So you could drive for an extent of time with expired tags for a long time and nothing will happen. Eventually, something will happen. You can start getting cited. You can start getting, cited. But I mean, eventually, yeah, they could tow you, but no insurance, you can almost bet on it that you're going to get towed because that's a liability. So But I'm glad we had the people that were here asking and talking about prison and all that, because maybe it was meant to be for me to talk about a little bit of my past. And, you know, I do consider you guys all, you know, a little family here on YouTube. I mean, we've had one hell of a ride here. Our channel has grown tremendously since July. I never would have thought we would have gotten to 2,000 plus subscribers. Just before New Year's, our channel reached 1 million public views. That's freaking nuts. Met a lot of cool people on these live streams, and it's just been amazing. So, you know, good things do happen when you just kind of, you know, stay consistent. I guess that's the main thing. That was always my biggest weakness or flaw or whatever you want to call it, is the consistency. I've always been really good at finding motivation, staying motivated, but the consistency is where I've always lacked. And I've been practicing it a lot, and these last couple years, and that's how we've gotten to where we've gotten. That's why we're here now, and doing what I do and doing what I love is working on chainsaws. And, you know, it's just amazing. And I've met a lot of great people, have done a lot of great things, you know, like working tree service, the people that I've met here, you know, in my towns, and all the support that I have from you guys and the people that I know here in my towns. So it does pay off. So we just got to keep it hustling. We just got to keep it pushing. And believe me, I know it's hard. I know it's hard. But it's even harder if we don't, you know, put in a little effort. Moody says, I don't know who my daddy. Does your kids know their daddy? I don't even have kids. So maybe one day. That'd be pretty awesome, because I'll be one hell of a dad for sure. So, but anyways, this Dremel came in handy. It's a 200 series. So it's a like moderate level Dremel. I normally use my my flex shaft, my rotary that I use for porting and cutting and sanding and cleaning cylinder sleeves, but went a little hard on it yesterday, to the point where what I call the drive shaft cable, this is what's responsible for spinning the handpiece chuck, and it's encased. It feeds through the housing here, and it got so hot because it spins. They claim it spins 23,000 spins a minute, turns a minute, and it just got so hot that it just literally started smoking and melted the plastic right off. So I'm pretty sure I could still try to use it like this, but I'd rather just buy a new cable for it and replace it. So it's a two-piece kind of deal. So this is one separate piece. It feeds through the housing, and then of course the actual cable here. So I just got to find a replacement for it, at least the size and everything from there. Go from there. The actual motor itself, it did great. Didn't slow down one bit. Yesterday was the most I've ever used it consistently. So, and I knew that it was starting to get really hot, because obviously I wasn't able to like hold it in my hand without getting burned. So I grabbed a shop rag and I just kind of bundled it and I put it over the handpiece and I just kept going. And at one point I noticed that the rubber was getting soft. So obviously it was getting hot, and it got to the point where I can start smelling the rubber. But I kept pushing it. Instead of just stopping for, you know, for a little bit, taking a break, I just pushed my luck, and that's what happens. But what I'm really impressed with is the motor, being that it's only an Amazon rotary tool. It's not a Fordham, which one day it'd be nice to have one. But even the Fordhams, though, you know, you use them for an extended period of time, I'm pretty sure this will happen to a Fordham as well. So you just gotta be careful. So interesting. But thankfully I had this laying around. I almost forgot that I had this. It's brand new. Today was the first day that I've used it. This is what I got when I first started up our little shop here, thinking that I was going to use this for porting and then sharpening as well. But then I was like, you know what? I really like the Fordham style. So I found one a little bit more budget. I'm sure some will say, yeah, sure, whatever. But at the time, thankfully, I did have the means to buy a Fordham. But one thing that I've also gotten good at learning through practice is not going out and buying the most expensive or name brand when I can just start off with something cheaper and, you know, and go from there. So I never used this. The only thing that I ever did use from this is the little bit set that it has: sanding, grinding stones. It even comes with polishing paste, which I've never used, some carbide burrs, polishing bits and wheels, which I've also never used. The rotary that I got also came with a nice bit set, sanding wheels, grinding stones, polishing, cutting, all cheap stuff. You know, like these grinding stones, they're not good, but it's not name brand or anything. They're just, you know, some Chinese stuff. But we can't hate on the Chinese because that's where we get pretty much everything. So what I used for the hedge trimmers that we were doing today was the steel grinding stones that they have for their that they make for their electronic sharpener, which I've never used. But the sanding stones aren't bad. They're good. They're decent. They're cool. I mean, I don't know what a good grinding stone would be anyways. I mean, Dremel makes some good stuff, but either way, if I was to do a lot more hedge trimming or hedge trimmer blades, you know, I do offer sharpening services here, but these were the first hedge trimmers that I got in for sharpening since I opened up here in July. But if I was doing them more often, or, you know, weekly, I would definitely invest in a angle grinder because it's a lot quicker. One good pass and you're done. With the Dremel or rotary tool, which it's the same thing, they just call it a flex shaft because of the cable. It works good. It works good, but it just takes a little longer because it's not just one quick pass. You kind of have to sit there and, you know, do a few more passes, but it's still effective. But angle grinders for sure a lot better. I said I was going to clean some tools, but apparently I just put them away. I could always clean them tomorrow. Only because I was doing the hedge trimmers, and so there was a lot of grease going on, a lot of grease action from cleaning out the old grease from the gearboxes and then packing the gearbox with new grease, and then my shop mat got all greasy, and so I was just going to give everything a little wipe down, but I can do that tomorrow. Not a big deal. And then, but yeah, other than that, the shop, I mean, everything is cleaned up. All I have out right now is the rewind starter that we're going to do tomorrow. That's going to be the first thing on our list. And then we're going to do a lot of saws from now on. Because I have, 5 for Rodolfo that I need to get done by Saturday. So really by Friday, because his job is on Saturday. So we have 3 201s, his 261 and his 036 Pro. And then I have 2 461s, another 201 that I already did the cleaning and whatever. So we're almost done with those. And then I have a 2511, another 201, a Husqvarna 288 XP, a Steel 051 AV electronic, another 261. So I have 20 saws, like 20 or 22 saws right now on the repair list. So what up, Liam? What up? What up? Apparently, good thing the dog is inside now, and this dog is about to go in now too, because it's kind of chilly, and I feel like good thing I'm not wearing a. Anyways, that's kind of weird. But we'll be back tomorrow, early, because I have a lot. I mean, it's just the cleaning's gonna take a little bit. The repairs are gonna not take long. That's like the quickest thing, but the cleaning is what takes the longest. But thankfully the rest of Rodolfo's saws aren't super dirty. That's what I consider like normal dirty. And then need to sharpen some chains. I also do have a set of chipper blades that I need to do for him. And but yeah, it was a good day today. Got the hedge trimmers done. They're ready for pickup. Reached out to our customer. He's gonna come pick them up tomorrow around 4:30. And you know, could be sooner, could be later, just depends. But they're all busy. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now, guys. I mean, not a whole lot going on now. Just wanted to jump on real quick and just kind of hang out for a little bit. But let me see. Put that over there. But let me just give you guys a little look of how we're looking now. So workbench is done. Our little like side counter here, that's just a box of my stuff, but I use it as like a little side counter when I'm like tearing saws apart or putting parts away. I do have this stuff here, but this is just an empty bag. I need to throw this out. This has some bits and whatnot, and I have some chainsaw parts from a couple teardowns, but that's okay right there. But the main thing is the work area. Part holding is pretty good. I need to figure out something for this because this bot's kind of sinking it. Our other little holding is looking good. Little chain stock is looking good. The top of the toolbox is a little bit going on, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, guys, I'm out of here. It's freaking cold. My gal friend just texted me, so she's probably home now. So I'm gonna probably jump on a phone call and say hello to her and see how she's doing. And we'll be back tomorrow. So yeah, be on the lookout. Liam says, I really think you're going to like the video I posted. Yeah, man, I'll check it out. I did resubscribe to your channel. Some might be like, resubscribe. Guys, it's a long story, but no need to talk about it anymore. It's in the past. And all I hope is that this works out. And Liam, I say that with all love, man. You know, there's no hate. At least I hope you know that there's no hate. So that's why I kind of kept it real. And I felt bad for having to say everything in front of everybody, but anyways, keeping it real. So all right, guys, much love to everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone has a good night or good morning, depending on where you are in the world, and we'll see each other tomorrow. It's going to be probably in the morning here in my time, so Pacific Standard Time. I don't know exactly what time yet, but it's going to be early because there's a lot to do. So yeah, we'll see you guys later. Peace.